Hello dudes and dudesses, and welcome to another video about an iron farm. And I think I will dub this one a crazy concept because it's kind of a weird iron farm. And I have high hopes that this farm will actually work on both platforms, Java and Bedrock. And a lot of you guys have been asking me, Fab, please make an iron farm that works on Bedrock, and I think I might have done so. Just to start off with, so we know what we're talking about, you know that villagers can call iron golems in two ways. If you have 5 and they're able to sleep, like in this setup, my Zombieless iron farm, you can actually have them gossip. Hey dude, we don't have an iron golem. We don't? Okay, let's call an iron golem. And then they spawn in an iron golem. And because iron golems have a tendency to accidentally go into lava and disappear, after a while they will say, hey dude, we don't have an iron golem. And then they will say, oh, let's call in a new iron golem. And that's how the passive farm works, that works on gossip. And that farm only works in daytime, which is why I designed this beat-ups box so that you can skip the night and have it running 24/7 in survival and on servers. Another way that we can have villagers summon iron golems is if we scare them. In this, the Iron Dwarf 2, we do it by using a pillager who's down here and are able to see them or have a line of sight day and night, and they kind of just get scared and they call the iron golems. You probably know this, and in this case they will go through a portal and disappear. And that's kind of important because you can see the pods right here are quite a bit apart. That's because we don't want these two villager pods to merge and like gossip, so we need to keep them apart so they can't gossip with each other. And not a problem in this one because the golems go away very fast in the portals, but otherwise we usually want to have them drop away 18 blocks as fast as possible, so that this guy over here or these guys over here don't see the iron golems that these guys spawn in, because then they're saying, okay, we already have an iron golem, there's no need to call one. So that's usually the parameters we work with in iron farms. And we can play around with this luckily and do all kind of weird things. In this farm, for instance, it's, as you can see, a drowned going up and down, and this farm isn't really abiding by the laws because these are basically too close, but these are far enough apart that they're actually able to call 2 iron golems in, spawn them like this. And luckily there's a lot of variation because I love making different iron farms. There's nothing like the smell of burning iron golem in the morning. Now if we'll take a closer look at this farm, you can see that the villagers are going around in water streams, and they're keep on getting connected to a bed and losing that connection again. But when it's nighttime, eventually when they're gone around, they will all go into a bed and sleep like babies. It may take a while, but they all sleep every night, and that is why this works as a passive gossip farm. In the morning, as soon as they wake up, they will talk to each other and they will spawn in golems. Because they are going around in this circle, they are not all talking to each other at the same time. So we will effectively have always 2 or 3 groups that each are able to talk to each other and say, hey, we don't have a golem, let's call in a golem. And they do so. They just go around here, and sometimes they even mix up the groups, and they will form groups all the time. This thing up here that looks, well, I mean, there's no way getting around it. It kind of looks like a swastika, but yeah. Before He Who Shall Not Be Mentioned made that into an evil symbol, it was actually a symbol of peace. Just remember that. In most cultures, this is a good symbol. But what we have up here is just a basic etho hopper clock. The best branded and most useful redstone item in the game. And in here I have 5 items. Iron, of course. This is an iron clock. And In each state, when it's over here, it kind of just makes a pulse there and there, and likewise over here makes a pulse there and there, and it just flips this trapdoor. And this contraption right here, what this does is it secures an even flow of the villagers. Without it, I realized that they will have a tendency to get stuck in the corners and stay there for a while, and we don't want that, because then they form a big group over here and only call in one zombie. Iron golem. Now let's wake them up. And now they're all up and they start spawning iron golems left and right, and that's always a beautiful sight. Now, I did say that I think this farm might work for Bedrock as well, and that's because, as I understand it, the requirements for Bedrock is pretty much like it was in the olden days for Java, which means that you have to have 20 villagers, and in this case we have 7 beds, 7, 7 and 7, so we have 28 villagers, and then they need to sleep and they need to have workstations. And somewhere right here on this side, I just exchanged out this glass that's above the beds down here with a workstation of fletchers, and you can see they turn into fletchers. That's kind of the requirement, I think, that's needed for a Bedrock iron farm. So I think this might work in Bedrock as well. Isn't it very, very difficult to build this farm? I mean, that's a lot of villagers you have to get up here and stuff like that. No, it's not. Because what you do is you build this up, and you can see, I think it's 19 by 19. The important thing is that you have to have 7 beds in the middle, and then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you just bring in 2 villagers. 2 villagers before you place in the water. You bring in 2 villagers and you breed them up. You just wait till you have 28, and every night you can see how many beds are filled. And when you have 28, you're good to go. If you accidentally get more, you just kill them off. So there's 1 villager for each bed, and they cannot get out of this conveyor belt here because of their height. So you have a slab that's going up, keeping back the water, and they're stuck in there. They can only go to bed. That's the only place they can go. It's raining golems, hallelujah. Now, the smart one amongst you, and I'm guessing that's all of you, have noticed this part right here. And that's because you can really turbocharge this farm. Right now, in this state, I hope it works in Bedrock, and it works as a passive farm in Java. But we can add scare to this farm. So if we go down here and I add a zombie right there, remember to put in a name tag on him, and I add a zombie right here and name tag him. This farm will now work with scare, which means that it will work 24/7. They will also spawn golems at night, and they will spawn them faster than they do if they are relying solely on gossip. When the farm is in zombie mode, which means we have a zombie in there, not all of the villagers will get the chance to sleep during the night. Some may not have the opportunity. So in order to combat that, I have made 2 beds on each side, the outermost ones, where the villagers sleep through the night, meaning we have 8 villagers in the entire layer of one farm that has slept through the night, which is enough to keep the farm going and producing golems during the day. And as we have learned from other farms, even though that sleeping villagers cannot gossip, they can be called upon to summon a zombie even though they're in their beds. So this way we have a farm that works perfectly well day and night. How about the raids? If you have 1 layer and you have a zombie in there, it will not utilize all 4 pods fully, if you can say these are pods. But normally this would be a pod with 3 villagers and a zombie, 3 villagers and a zombie, and so on. But it's like 3.2 or something. That's the rate you get. So one of these layers here will provide you with 13 plus stacks of iron an hour if you have a zombie in there. Alright guys, I hope you liked this video. I hope you like this crazy concept, which may not be that crazy after all, and which may work in Bedrock. I'm very curious to see if you guys can make it work in Bedrock. I will copy this over in a separate world and leave a world download in my Discord community so that you can go in and see block by block how it's built. Now, if you like the video, do leave a like, it helps me out a bunch, and if you want to see more, subscribe, hit that belly button, all that jazz, and I will be seeing you in the next one. Bye!